Let's see if I um oh oh okay. So the real question is if the audio is working. Because I can't tell. Can't manage stream. Okay. Um, Alright, I'll be back. 1 second. Alright, I've decided I'm gonna try to stream and stuff. Don't bother me for an hour, okay?
I'm just not allowed in the one cold place in the house now?
You can have the door.
I hear you. You can go ahead.
Okay. You don't actually hate me?
Well, I don't actually hate you, but I am annoyed.
What? No camera. Alright. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna get started. Because I don't know what I'm gonna make. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't um know what anything is. I'm just gonna do my best. But first I gotta make sure my audio is working. It's the same thing. Just it's the link it gives me. I'm saying that the link doesn't work. It doesn't work. If you oh my gosh. Like with sharing and stuff, that's what it says. Yeah, that's what it says. Yeah, I'm just typing right now. It's not very interesting. Yes, just come in. That's what it gives me. It gives me that link.
Stream URL back. What the?
That's what it says. And I put it on. I put a
Are you viewing your own stream? Open your YouTube channel. It's okay. If you like, open your YouTube channel to see it.
Mm-hmm.
No, as in open a new tab.
That's okay. Let me think. Never mind. I haven't even started yet. Okay. It's actually. Alright, I want to make sure. Have the chat open. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to set everything up. You know, I'm not actually. This is the first painting stream or any kind of stream that I've done, so I'm doing my best. We'll see how it goes. I don't think there's going to be any viewers. That's okay. And I click all the buttons. You're just going to hear me typing this whole time. And everyone's going to yell at me. And we've been doing it, and it's been going for like 17 minutes, and not one single thing has been painted, which is good. That means that the stream is going good. We're 17 minutes, and I don't have a single line painted. That's how you know they're being professional. Alright. And then it's fine. At least no one's here yet. Okay. And then it's giving me a warning, and I don't know why. Well, I'll just paint anyways. Well, I said OBS to record as well. And I'll just have a painting that I did. Always gonna crash. It's gonna make it angry. Alright. I might as well just draw something random. At least if I record it. It should be recording as well. If it's recording, then that means that I'll just make a speed paint later, and that's fine. I'm drawing, this is starting. I don't know what I'm gonna draw. I just usually start with a bunch of textures, a bunch of colors, just layer things, less of a technique and more of just playing with paint like a kindergartner. That's how I like to start. See, I got all my brushes over here and my colors up here. I'm thinking maybe yellow and blue. Maybe just doing a nice complementary color scheme. No, that's boring. I'm gonna add a bunch of colors. I'm gonna add every color. I'm gonna have a rainbow, I think. Add some red, maybe dark red. Maybe add some green. Add some light green. Maybe add some yellow. You know, basic art stuff. These are the colors. I almost am really inclined to try to be going through every process and going, oh, this is how you do this and this, but I don't think I should do an art tutorial, especially when I'm doing my fast paints, because it's very specific to me. I don't think that you can glean anything, any useful information off of this. Maybe I think more it's just pretty colors in front of everything, and I don't know. I'm in a sad mood, so I'm gonna make some bright colors. I think that'll be nice. Add some light green. Add some pink, and then after I just start adding random colors and shapes, and well, let's add some of these shapes. I love these shapes. Just such a cool brush. After that, I just kind of try and see what's in the shapes. Try to create something from that. So let me see. Oh, let me turn something. So I have the chat over here, and I'll type. Or not. So that's the first page. That's the most important page that I'll give. Let me know if you can actually hear my voice. Because if not, then this is a pretty mundane thing. I also got this wonderful pixel brush. This is Krita I'm using right now. Look at that. I just love it so much. It makes big pixels, and this is very hard-edged brush. I don't actually remember what some of these brushes do. Oh, this is a copy one. Oh, that's I like this one actually. Oh no, it's going backwards. Okay. Maybe just do some, work my way up like that. Make some stripes and stuff. I have to decide what this painting is gonna be. I know it's a mess right now, but I like to do realism. I don't like abstract art as much, so I'm gonna make it real, or I shouldn't say realistic, but have form, objective. I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do a multiply layer. I'm gonna add some light. I think I'll do like nice, ooh, like a nice kind of desaturated red. Kind of do that. And let's add some light, you know? Where's the light in this scene? And I like to do kind of dark scenes, you know? So maybe we just carve away just some spots in the middle. Maybe, you know, some light like this. And this really helps my brain to just kind of figure out what I'm doing, kind of figure out what I'm making, what the color light is, where the scene is. And it's looking not like a lot like nothing right now, but that's okay. We'll make something bright. We'll make something a little bit different. I'll probably make a landscape just because that's a lot of the time what I make, you know. But that's alright. Add some brushes. Add some oranges. I really like this brush because it adds a lot of colors, you know. And I like to color match all the time. So it helps me, well, maybe sing someone like in a weird dress, you know? Like this beautiful like green and, whoops, that's a race. Green and pink. It's kind of like the dress. It kind of looks like the kiss, right? You know what I mean? I don't know why. That's what I'm thinking. We have this large kind of figure right here. Well, let's get a brush that isn't so translucent. Get something like this. Maybe it's like an old-fashioned dress or it has like a shawl over the top. I think that would be nice. I don't know what to make of all this over here. Maybe not. Yeah, maybe it's like a ballroom scene. Alright, maybe it's something different. I usually do outside scenes. I usually do landscapes, make that sort of thing, but I don't know. I don't think I'm feeling like a landscape. I drew this morning and I'm feeling like I don't want to do more landscapes today. Well, that's okay. So maybe there's like light up here. And so if it's an indoor scene, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna highlight this, make it look more thin, or like more like a huge ballroom kind of idea, very ornate. I think it's because of like this nice pixelization over here that I'm thinking very lavish and very open. Let's open this up. Add some of this purple. Do drums. Draw over here. Draw a nice shiny ballroom floor as well. And the shine in a little bit. You know, this. String that out. Smooth. Oh no, never mind. I forgot that this is when I don't like these fast textured ones. That if you add any like smoothness or make it like it's very refined in one area, it just looks awful to me. Maybe I won't agree, but I think that's what I'm the one in charge right now, so that's all we're gonna do. Go like this, and it still kind of looks like a jungle. You know what we're gonna do? I am just gonna add a layer. I'm gonna set this to hue. Gonna go all the way down there. I think that I know I'm starting as a rainbow and I'm gonna immediately like mess that up. But I just think it's too vibrant. I think it's too vibrant for this, but I do want to make sure that this dress pops out of this scene. I want it to really, really pop and look really nice. So we're just gonna do that. And right now it's just a hovering. It's just a dress with no one in it, but hopefully I'm gonna fix that in a little bit. I'm gonna add another layer of darkness on top of this. Because now that I get the gist of what I want to do, I'm gonna make this maybe a cyclic green. No, we're gonna do like a nice desaturated yellow. So what I'm gonna do is there's gonna be light from the background. They're going to be big windows, I think. Something like large, tall windows. And so we're going to make some big windows. It's going to reach up like that, and all the light is going to be just spilling out. It's going to be like a daytime kind of ball, I suppose. These large windows just spilling everywhere, and we'll have little warm lights at the top, and they're going to be kind of like spilling, but their light is going to be a lot more yellow. Over here is going to be like a wave of just bright blue, and we're going to set that to screen. I like to use this a lot of layer modifications, those kinds of things, just because I think it goes a lot faster. You know, I could go through and choose my colors based off what they might be, but that isn't as interesting to me. I not right now, and at least it's not fast. It's not as fast. So that, and then I just hit Control E to merge those layers, and then I'm just gonna go in with a regular brush, just like a paintbrush. Nothing, not a lot of super texture. Maybe just something like that. And we're going to go through and we're going to define the back walls. We're going to define where these windows really are. Going to make it just look like there. And I think out here we're going to just try like a little patio with some grass. I like this kind of grassy texture over here, and over here can be some clouds. Let's add some clouds actually over here in the background. Draw this, and this is going to really help define. It's just drawing with a flat brush over the top of these, because there's so much texture and variation in the background that it's just going to really make it pop out and make this feel like a different space. Or at least the hope. That's the hope. Whenever I say this is what we're going to do, I'm really just really hoping that that works out. It might not, but you know what? That's okay. Hopefully, at least at the end, it's something interesting, you know. Let's do this. It looks like I'm getting rid of a lot of this texture, but I don't know. It's kind of necessary right now. I'm going to truncate the space. And we're going to add a little bit of the shadow, because we're going to add shadows, and we're going to also make this floor very shiny. And to do that, we're going to just take the colors above. We're just going to reflect those. And I'm getting rid of a lot of the texture. I'm going over it. I want it to be more refined, but going through and having those textures in the beginning, I think really helps me to start a painting. You know, it's more about the process than having the textures at the end. And over here it's very dark. We have like this dark, maybe it's a bush or something like that. Oh, I have a kind of a little spiky brush that I can use over here. Add some texture to like the dark bush over here that's blocking out the light coming from this window. That's why it's not as light over here. Add some, oops, I made it too big. Right over there. And then let's add some more white over here. Add some more of this texture back, and I do like this brush a lot. I think it's going to really help. I want to make it opulent. I want to make it look very interesting. I want it to look very elegant. So I'm going to add a lot of detail over on this wall, I think. We can fake some of that detail with texture brushes. As you can see, it's already pretty detailed, but that is maybe not what we're looking for right here. Right here, add in some extra lines, and that brush connects to itself, so I'm going to grab something like this. I'm going to connect it that. And if you want to type in chat, don't be afraid to type in chat. Say, oh, you should put some dogs in this. This should be a dog wedding. That's fine. You know, I feel like dog wedding is a pretty good idea. I don't know if I have the time to draw a bunch of dogs out. Maybe. You know, I think that might be just a fine idea. Alright. Let's put in the colors up here, and they don't look like they match at all. Just because there's so much texture in here, and then you just have these blocks of color up here, and they don't look like they match. But we'll resolve that in a little bit. Or maybe we won't resolve it, you know? I don't think this is about making like the best, most detailed, most picturesque, you know, like Romanesque painting that you can do. It's about making a mood, making a theme, and communicating that quickly. Now, this is more like concept art. This is more like concept art than well, it should be a fully realized piece of art, but it's not highly rendered. It's not so detailed that you want to throw up, you know. I don't think that's what this is about. So we're getting a lot of this. I think this is looking a lot better. I'll add some like highlights to the dress. You know what? We've been waiting on it for a long time. Let's actually draw this figure in here. You can't stand as like a random dress standing there forever. Let's add in some like arms. I'll have her arms like crossed in front of her, all fancy. And some shading on it. You know. Just really define that silhouette. We'll make it a really dramatic silhouette. Let's get some like a brush like this, I think. I think that'll help. Alright, so I'm working on one layer right now. And that is because when I'm drawing like so fast like this, I make layers and I truncate them because it's just easier for me. I don't know if it's the best way to do it. It's probably not. It's probably takes a little bit more time in the end. But for me, it just makes sense. And when I'm drawing like this, I don't always draw in one layer. But when I'm drawing like this, that is something that I like to do. Let's go for some, I don't know, what kind of hair. Give her a little bowl cut. Perhaps not. Let's do perhaps some like really long ones in the front. And then give her perhaps like a little bun on the top of her head. And I don't want to work on her much more than that. Just get her blocked out. We add a lot of detail to her at the end, I think. As long as she has something going on. We'll finish her later, I think. Right now I want to get this background kind of figured out. Oh, but one thing, I gotta add in the leg with the split. There you go. Now it's elegant. Now it's a good picture. So this is more of a practice, but I think it's worthwhile. Alright, let's do some lines. We'll go over here. We'll add like a little shadow underneath them. Really dramatic. Gonna add some panels, I think, like, you know how the fancy places, they all have like panels and they all have like little important like wiggles inside of them. I think we'll do some of that. Alright. And so I also gotta make sure that I'm looking at my timer. I started around 17 minutes in, so that wasn't very useful. We'll stop at like hour 17, and so right now we're 20 minutes in, about 20 minutes in. That'll be useful for me to remember. You know, it's a 1 hour painting. I want to make sure that I get done in an hour. Ooh, little blocks of color. Of course, you're like, I don't want this to be very specific. I don't want it to be I want it to be detailed. I don't want it to be highly rendered. And so we're gonna go in and we're gonna add some like gold highlights, I think. Let's get like a nice bright gold. It's gonna be very shiny. And we're gonna add, now let's start with like a dark, kind of like a visage. We'll do like little corners. Let's do a little star in the middle. Up. And do lines like that. I think that'll look nice. Then we'll highlight certain parts with like a really light gold to make it shiny. Right now this is just the outside. Soup. Soup. You know what? I should have drawn a bowl of soup. I think that would have been a better idea. But when I don't ever have an idea when I sit down to draw these paintings. I don't know. I don't know where the ideas come from. I just draw random shapes until something comes out. It's something that works for me. I don't think this technique would work for everyone. It would probably drive most people crazy, but it works for me. It makes me happy. That's all that more is important, I think. So we'll draw all these panels. I hate, I watch other people paint. You know what I hate more than anything else? So when they go back and they hit Control Z and they draw the same line. You watch them. Draw the same line 8 times in a row. Absolutely crazy. People are like, oh, that's, I want to get the perfect line. Then they're like, they're obsessed with that. And that drives me crazy. The way I do it drives them crazy. I don't think there's any one technique for making perfect and great art, but all I am saying is that I'm not a psychopath, and I'm not drawing the same like line 18 times over in the first time, and give up. The first time is fine. Nothing's ever gonna be perfect. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to go over the same thing so many times. It makes me sick. Ugh. We got some panels over there. Very elegant. Very, very detailed. Let's add some random lines over here. I should have put this on a different layer. If I did put it on a different layer, I should have. I wasn't thinking about it. Could have done a layer behind it and then just added a bunch of shadows to it, make it look very nice. But that's okay. We'll make do. Make some darken this over here. We'll add some shadows. Let's add some like lines. Let me just get the line tool. I want these lines to actually kind of be straight. Let's choose this color. Make some lines over here. And so this is be like a banister kind of thing, I think. Just kind of like one of the ones where it goes like this, where it has, when you route it to a very fancy shape. I'll go add one of those above it. I think that'll be cool. Add some shadow behind it, underneath it. 1 second. This doesn't have anything to do with anything. I'm just getting pinged. It's nothing. I shouldn't. I should probably turn my stuff off while I'm doing this, but whatever. That's okay. Got some of that. And you know what? Let's really define the floor. I really want to make the floor look cool. You know what I mean? I want it to look nice. Let's add some. I'm really focusing on this wall. I'm hoping that it doesn't look awful by the end. I don't know about the very thin lines. I don't know about that. We'll see. I have like 40 more minutes to fix it. I have like a little bit of time, Let's add some lines. So we can see the texture coming down from like that onto the thing. Draw some of this. And so we're really just drawing it upside down. And so that'll help sell the illusion that this is a super shiny floor. That's how you know it's fancy. If they can afford to keep like a shiny floor, that's how you know that they're rich. And It could even be just like a concrete floor in my opinion, just like something cheap. But if you have the time to keep the floor just shining clean, you have the people to keep it shining clean, you have like there's no dents or anything like that, that means you're opulent, you know. Especially on something like a ballroom floor where it's gigantic, like I couldn't imagine. And some light, and it looks like there's a light here, like a window that I was supposed to draw here, but I forgot, which does happen. I'm gonna draw like a little white light here. And draw like, oh, that's way too dark. Draw like the light over here. Draw a little cross. Maybe draw here. I'll draw some like little filigrees, you know. Lots of little details. I don't usually like to do little details like this, but it's an opulent picture. She's at a fancy ball. There's no one else in the picture for some reason. Maybe we should draw some other people. There's no one else in the picture right now. Figure that out. Alright, now I'm gonna do another layer. I'm gonna make some beams, some beams crossing, because I think that looks fancy. Adds a little homely feel. Let's use the line tool. You see, I don't have to draw my line 8 times. Look at that, I do it in one. So I just use the tool, it does it for me. Alright, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna duplicate that. I'm gonna take the one like that. I'm gonna do that, and I'm not really explaining anything, but something like that. And we'll erase this part. And then, this is the real thing. Duplicate this one, this layer, move it down just a little bit, one in behind, and then, oops, what we do is we layer that. Do it just, so you just get a peek of it. And then people are like, oh my gosh, you spent so much time shading that. Look at that, you got the whole, and I'm like, took me 2 seconds. Alright, then we'll fix some over here. Since we have the light behind here, we can add some streaming in light. Like, just beautifully set this to screen. And let some like beautiful rays of sunlight coming in through the top. We'll erase them when they're over here. They'll just kind of like be flowing in. I really like drawing like little streaks. I think that's fun. You know what, we'll draw some extra streaks coming in from over here. Alright, we'll merge that down. And I'm thinking, what am I thinking? Let me think. Let me figure it out. Oh, this is way down. Alright. So this is the problem. You see my floor is right here. And then my floor is right here, and then there's the floor right here. Let's just extend that, actually. I don't want to make my windows any shorter, because I do like the long window that goes from like this floor to the ceiling. I just love the look of that, so I'm just trying to keep that in as much as possible. We'll extend the floor a little bit down. Add the banister, and then we'll replicate the shiny paneling. We'll put the paneling below the floor. We'll try to keep that. And the one thing to keep in mind is whenever you're reflecting something, especially on like something that isn't as perfect as a mirror, it does get a little darker. So I am going to just make a new layer. Just going to add a black layer over the floor. And we'll add highlights as well for where it's like really reflecting. Whenever you're reflecting something in like a pond or in the floor or just everyday reflections that aren't perfect like a mirror, it's going to be just a hair darker. So even just like 12%, 13%, add that just straight black. Yeah, you're not supposed to use black ever, but you know. that's fine for right now. I want some shiny details, and so it's just a little bit darker than the rest of it. And some light, go back and add just a little bit of highlights, you know. Give her, she's not wearing any shoes right now. We'll give her some, let's give her a green shoe. Maybe something like that, something simple. So she's really kind of fading into the background right now. Let's see if we can fix that. Let's render her out. Let's make her nice and pretty. Let's make her really center of focus. Render her out. I know I said I wasn't gonna render anything, and I don't think I will still. But if you have one big focus, you know, I have 30 minutes left. I might as well put a little bit of detail into her. Maybe at least give her like a face. We'll see. And so, just draw like the basic features where they go. Take some of the out background. Try to make it different to her so she really pops. I want her to pop. Obviously, she's got this beautiful, like, almost ethereal dress. It doesn't really fit. So look at the pixelation and the just the colors and the shapes. I think that really does make it interesting to look at. So let's like not let it fall into the background. What I do want to do, I think we could add some layers of tulle over this, and so almost let the background peek through past like a thin layer of fabric. Divide it up as like it's a layered dress, and there's lots of layers of like thin fabric. Really define this. Let's make her a little bit more slope on the sides. I don't think I want her to have like this very. I want her shoulders to be broad, but they shouldn't be like kind of tight, you know. All right, let's add some. I'm getting distracted again. But let's add some circles here. Now I complain about these people. I only do it a couple of times. I just want it to look somewhat reasonable. Yeah. Purple. So I think that's cool. Like a little, like almost have a metal design on your windows. I think that looks nice. All right, back to the business. Back to business. I already got distracted. Oh, she looks angry. I don't think I want her to look angry. I think I want her to just kind of like maybe bored, you know, bemused. Just kind of standing there like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe a little awkward. I'll add some kind of like fabric, you know, it pulls together in her front, and so try to define that as best as I can. Let's add some. Here, we shouldn't do it like that. We should go like this, I think. Real vibrant green. I want it to really pop. Of course, your arm is blocking this little part right here. Make it look like fabric. I want it to look really flowy and less rigid like it looks right now. Kind of looks rigid. Ugh. that. This, and then we'll go and we'll define this again. Her kind of clavicle is very red. I don't know when that happened, but I kind of like it. So let's add some of these reds up here. You know, the red and the green I think look quite nice. Let's add some little hair loopies. I had sort of a gray over here, and this is a mid-tone gray. So this isn't even light, but it looks so light. Let's give her some green eye shadow or something, you know, just a little bit. Make her kind of like, yeah, she's looking sad. She is looking. I think this is a sad. I think this is maybe just kind of a. I shouldn't have come. made a fool of myself kind of time. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe that's not for me to decide. Alright, let's add a little bit more detail to the face, I think. I don't want to make it super detailed because it's pretty small in the scope on this, and her head is already like really, her head is really tall. You know, I'm gonna fix that. I am gonna make her head shorter. She should not. I don't think her like hairdo should be this big. I know I was going for opulent, but I think that's a little silly looking. So I'll just draw that. Draw a little line. Pink line right here. And then go back and I'll give her some shape. I'll give her some, a little bit like that on the top of her head. Go through and define that again. She's kind of got a mushroom head. I think that's interesting looking. Some light highlights over here. Kind of close down. Get rid of some of this.